What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I got 3 more picks on the NBA for you. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
And just like that, I suck again. All you can do is sit back and laugh. Had a really rough day on the NBA yesterday, so apologies if you tailed yesterday's picks. From the video I shared with you, I went 1 and 3. VIP wasn't much better, but let's go through it all in detail. Overall, in VIP, still made profit yesterday somehow, and that somehow was soccer. We had a 5-0 sweep. We made over 5.7 units on soccer, but on the NBA, we lost 4.9 units. What a way to start going full throttle and doing max stakes. But let's take a look. Let's see exactly what happened. So yesterday in the video, the picks that I shared with you guys, the first one, Nima's Cater, over 7.5 points. I gave you heaps of reasons why I should win, and none of those reasons happened. I said it would be crazy to believe that Philly makes the adjustment to stop Nima's Cater from scoring down low because that's going to open them up on the perimeter, and that's exactly what happened. They made their changes. They sat in a really deep drop. I'm just checking the box score now. Sat in a really deep drop to stop him rolling from the basket. Therefore, forced a lot of usage from Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Anthony Simons. And they lived with that. They almost won. They still lost, but they didn't give up anything down low to the bigs. A lot of the points the Celtics scored were away from the basket, and Cater was really taken out of it. He also only played 19 minutes, didn't really do too much, only had 2 shots. So that was just a bad read, and I can take that. I also had Pascal Siakam, over 8.5 rebounds. Now, this was looking good until it wasn't. He had like 4 rebounds at halftime, finished the game with 5 because the Atlanta Hawks blew out the Pacers in the third quarter. Siakam doesn't play in the fourth. Even if he did, it's unlikely he would have got there anyway. I was not expecting that type of game script. So that was a bad read as well. And then it was Yusuf Nurkic over 6.5 rebounds. And this one's a little bit frustrating to lose because he hooks on 6. It's frustrating because his line was at 5.5. And me being a greedy bastard, I took him for 7 to get better odds because I thought he was going to kill it. And then he didn't. That game script didn't go the way I expected. Phoenix maintained a 15 and 20 point lead, basically from the first quarter all the way to the end of the game. So the Jazz really couldn't get any runs going there. They get blown out in a low scoring game that I wasn't expecting. So the pace was really slow in that one. So that one's probably a bit unfortunate, probably more foolish from my behalf. And then our only winner of the day was Minot from the Celtics. Took his over in rebounds. He didn't see as many minutes either, but great rebound rate. Still got it done. I think he finished on 8 rebounds. We needed 7. So we did only cash that. Other looks on VIP. Ryan Dunn, we hit his PRA. Walker Kessler, we hit his rebounds and assists. We hit Lonzo Ball over his assists before the Donovan Mitchell news came out. We had a value play on Lonzo Ball that we cashed. We hit a 2-man parlay with Colin Gillespie and Ray J. Dennis. And we hit Colin Murray Boyles under 5.5 rebounds. In terms of losers, we had other losers there too. John Collins for 7 rebounds. He didn't get the minutes that I expected. The Pelicans hung with them all the way to the end. I was expecting a blowout, so I was wrong there. And then Karl Anthony Towns over 22.5 points. This line was at 21.5. I took it at 22.5. Hooks finishes at 22 and misses his last 4 shots in that game. So that was pretty frustrating. But what's interesting was if you just look at the core plays where I bet 1 unit, we pretty much broke even in that aspect. Where we did lose a lot of the units was on all the risky parlays that I had. So with my strategy, I lean into the plays that I like the most. I take more alt lines and things like that. Unfortunately, the plays that I liked the most outside of Lonzo Ball, they didn't win. So the core play lost, which means the more risky version lost, which was always going to be difficult. But at the same time, provided the core plays for the most part are looking good, then we're in a good place. It's going to happen many times this season, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to win every day. I'm not going to be profitable every day. What matters for me is long term. Do I have an edge, and will I make profit by the end of the season? And I absolutely will. So in a small sample size, you might think I'm one of the best you've ever seen. You might think I'm the worst. Regardless, we come out here, we do it every single day, follow our processes, we refine things, we try to get better each and every single time. So 3 more picks for you today. We've got a much smaller slate on the NBA, thankfully, which is less research for me. But quick shout out to PropsMadness, the best tool you're going to find if you like betting on player props and NBA, NFL, PropsMadness has you covered. Advanced filters that no other app has. So go ahead and check it out. You get a juicy discount when you use the code DARF when you sign up. I've got a link for PropsMadness down below in the video description. So small slate today. Done my first scan deep dive. Came up with 3 picks. Before the first game tips off, I'll likely have a lot more than just the 3, but sharing with you what I have down already. So the first one we're looking at is in this Wolves versus Hornets game. And the play that I'm taking here is Jaden McDaniels. I took him for over 17.5 points. Jaden McDaniels is not an overly complicated explanation as to why I like his over in points. It's relatively straightforward, and I think if I don't overthink things, oftentimes it works. Like, I didn't bet on Jalen Johnson yesterday because I managed to overthink it. This one is straightforward, so let's not beat around. Jaden McDaniels, why do I think he goes over 17.5 points? Well, Anthony Edwards is not there. Anthony Edwards has been gone in for 2 games now. He's been injured. In the games without Anthony Edwards, 25 points, 30 points against Denver and against the Lakers. The volume's been impressive, 16 and 19 shot attempts in those 2 games. I will call out that he has been super efficient, which I'm not expecting him to score 30 points here just because he's in this role. Like, there can be a reduction in his field goal percentage naturally, but 17.5 I think is a good number to take. What's most promising is that volume. Since Anthony Edwards went down injured, Jaden McDaniels has taken the same number of shots as their number 1 option, Julius Randle. And Julius Randle's points line is at 24.5. So Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle, the exact same shot attempts since Anthony Edwards went out injured. So his numbers look great. If you wanted to go back historically, if you wanted to look at last season's numbers without Anthony Edwards, we've got 3 games here. 24.3 is an average, and his volume was great here too. 16, 17, 16 shot attempts. So the volume definitely a lot higher. If you can get to 15 to 16 shot attempts in this one, I love our chances here of Jaden McDaniels cashing to 17.5 points. Not only does he have great volume, but he also has a terrific matchup, and he's up against the Charlotte Hornets. And the Hornets are still the Hornets, and they suck defensively. Let's take a look at it. They've got the 5th worst defensive rating. They also allow the 4th most points to spot up shooting, which Jaden McDaniels thrives on. They allow a ton of points in the paint. They allow, actually, they're about average in points in the paint. My bad. They allow a lot of shots above the break. Poor defense. They're allowing 125 points per game, and they're allowing the 8th most points to small forwards. So Jaden McDaniels, when I think about it, there's no one on the Hornets who's going to be able to defend him really with his athleticism and his size. He should be able, when I mean by defend him, that means stop him from taking shots. I don't think there's anyone who's going to limit him offensively here. There's no Lou Dort roaming around in a Charlotte's Hornets uniform. So the script here that I have for Jaden McDaniels is take 15 to 20 shots, shoot close to 50%, get to the free throw line a couple of times, cash 17.5 points, get the fuck out of there. Very simple explanation there for Jaden McDaniels. The next 2, though, are in the same game. Looking at the Magic versus the Wizards. The first one is someone that I haven't lost a bet on yet, Keyshawn George. And I'm taking him for over 3.5 assists. When I looked at this, I was like, this is just absurdly low, and this makes not much sense to me. He's hit 3.5 assists in every single game this season. He's averaging 5.2 assists. His potential assist numbers are relatively consistent as well, averaging, 9 potential assists per game. He's passing the ball about 55 times in every single game. I looked at the projections, and his minutes projections are slightly lower than where they normally sit. So that's one thing I'll call out, and that's likely because Bilal Coulibaly is back. He's returned from injury. But if anything, Keyshawn George is still projected to play at least 30 minutes in this game. So far this season, he's seen 31, 40, 25, 35, and 32. So I know if he gets at least 30 minutes, he's still capable of covering this. And it's not like he's got a really difficult matchup either. He's up against the Orlando Magic, who, compared to last season, haven't been as good defensively. The Orlando Magic have the 8th worst defensive rating. They allow a ton of points in the paint. Keyshawn George gets 46% of his assists at the basket anyway. It still makes a lot of sense to me to take the over. 3.5, I think that's way too low. At 4.5, I might question it, but at 3.5, you got my attention. So if you wanted to break it down like this, Keyshawn George, he's like a point forward, really. He does play the 3, potentially the 4, but when you watch the way that they play, he's running most of the pick and rolls. Like, he's running a lot of their offensive sets, which is why his usage is relatively consistent. Koulibaly being back in the rotation is not going to take away from Keyshawn George and what he does as a creator. If anything, Koulibaly gives him another scoring option, someone else who he can pass to, someone else who can run in transition, which are very easy assists. So I think 3.5 assists for Keyshawn George is too low of a line. It's one of the first plays I snapped up. So that's for Keyshawn George. I like his over 3.5 points. The other one, I'm looking at the Orlando Magic here, and I'm heading to their bench, and I'm betting on Tristan da Silva. I like his over in points. I took this at 8.5 at plus money, but you should still be able to get 9.5 at plus money. And I like what I see here in terms of how he's been playing, his matchup, and everything like that. So he's cleared this line in 4 out of 6 games this season, averaging 12.2 points per game. He should see around 20 minutes. He usually plays 20 minutes, but in the games where Jalen Suggs doesn't play, he might see a small bump in his minutes. But 18 to 20 is a very safe floor here for Tristan da Silva. He's got an excellent matchup here against the Washington Wizards. They are bottom 3 in defensive rating. They allow the second most points in transition, where he scores 41% of his points. They are bottom 10 in defending spot-up shooters, where he scores 34% of his points. They also foul at a very high rate, and he also scores 25% of his points there. So almost 100% of the ways this guy scores his points, the Wizards are bad at. We also factor in their shot zones. The Wizards, pretty poor at defending the three-point line. Tristan da Silva lives there. The other things to call out here, the Wizards play at the 3rd fastest pace, so more pace, more opportunities. They also allow the 6th most three-point attempts. And if you look at this Orlando Magic team, Tristan da Silva is the best three-point shooter that they have now. So he's taking, I wouldn't say the majority of the volume, but a large percentage of his shots do come up from the three-point line unless he's getting out in transition, which is typically easy layups and such. So given his shot diet, he's got a very high shooting percentage so far this season. This 9.5 point line gives us a little bit of room for regression. So even if he shoots a little bit worse than he has been, given the easy points, he should be able to get out in transition. This looks like a no-brainer. If he can get 4 points in transition, 2 points from the free throw line, we just need 2 threes to cash. If you look at his threes line, it's set at 1.5. This was one thing that I was interested in taking, but 3-pointer props can be a little bit volatile. If he just gets a whole lot of layups and free throws today, that could be a cash without some threes. So I'm just playing a little bit safer and just going with the points. I think they're at great odds. This is a big if. It's an 8.5 point spread, but if the Magic play good in this game and absolutely blow the Wizards out, Tristan da Silva is a man who's going to see more minutes as well. So there could be some extra garbage time minutes, some easy buckets, a couple of threes perhaps to help us cash this line. So a lot of reasons to take Tristan da Silva here. Jalen Suggs is playing in this game, but Jalen Suggs is on that 20-minute minute restriction anyway. If you're not betting, if you don't feel too good about Tristan da Silva, then Anthony Black, someone to be betting on too. He scores a lot of his points in transition. Great matchup for that. Anthony Black plays more minutes. He gets more opportunities. He's just not a very aggressive scorer when it comes to that exploiting the 3-point line. So that's probably my hesitation with Black, but I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Black has a good game as well. But that's all I've got for you now, ladies and gentlemen. I still got more games I need to research for the NBA. I still got to do more research on the NFL and create the NFL video. So no time for me to deep dive anything, but I do ask that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, because you know I'll be doing videos every single day. So I appreciate everybody who shows some love. I wish you the absolute best of luck if you're betting on this slate. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.